Hi, and welcome to the Virtual Hire Hand live blog. My name is Tiffany Parson, and with me is
I share my Sue.
and we are here to talk to you about social media, repurposing content, and webinars. Today is all about LinkedIn. Ashima, it's been a while since we talked about LinkedIn. What do you think?
I know, right? So it's
Yeah,
about time.
it's about time. So, LinkedIn has come out with some great tips for articles. Now, if you're like me, you may be wondering, okay, what's the difference between they've got LinkedIn articles and LinkedIn newspapers? What's the difference? LinkedIn articles are permanent on your post, on your feed when you post, and it's long form. For your newsletters, that's going to be more focused on your community, the people who are subscribed, so you can be more targeted in regards to your information because it's going to be a niche group that's going to be subscribed to your newsletter. Now, for the articles, let's talk about what tips they share because I thought it was some pretty good tips, and it reminded me of what it was like. The tips remind me of things that were given back in 03, 04 when blogs were starting to get really popular and people were really getting into blogs or seeing the importance of it. So one of the first things is that the whole point of the long form article and why they even think it's worth getting into is because it's going to help build engagement on your page. And the whole reason we even post anything is because we want to build engagement to help build the community. What's one of the things that stood out the most for you in regards to the tips that they gave?
I think the fact that using articles as a form of being an authority in your space, I think that's really commendable. And the fact that it stays on your profile and it helps you to be searchable. And also, it just elongates the lifespan of your article. I think that's very good because that drives that engagement piece we're talking about. For
For sure.
example, you can have one long article and then you can turn it into different things like clips, posts, and carousels, short videos.
Which is our favorite, guys.
Yes,
If you watched several of our videos, we love repurposing. Do something one time and reuse it over again and again. So,
exactly.
what you were saying about it being available in the search, this is one of those the tips that they gave that really made me think about how we were about blogging and the fact that the blogs were feeding Google so that you would come up in the search. Now, LinkedIn is saying you utilize these long form articles so that you can come up in a search not for Google, but for the AI chatbot for responses when people are asking questions. Your article could be the answer to something they are looking for. Something that is encouraged is to monitor the performance of your article, see who's reading it, look at the analytics, and get an idea of who is engaging with what you're putting out. This will help you to know what to continue to do and what to maybe ease back off of. So staying on top of the performance and analytics. One other thing is you don't want to be random in your articles. You want your topics to be consistent. This way people know that you're the trusted source for whatever your particular niche is. It doesn't mean you have to talk about only one thing. It's like us, we talk about a mix of things even though they're all woven together. So same thing with your LinkedIn articles. You don't necessarily want to have a long form article about, let's see, webinar tips and then write another long form LinkedIn article and you're giving recipes. So you don't want to do that. So you want to stay consistent with your topics. Second. I gotta put my phone on silent. So you want to be consistent in your topics because that's going to bring people back because they'll know, oh, she's the one. He's the one that talks about traveling. He's the one that talks about moving overseas, whatever the topic may be. They know that you're the trusted one for that particular topic. Let me see. I wrote all my notes here and I'm trying to read my handwriting. Now, you don't just want to write your article and let it be, hey, the chatbot gets it and just leave it up to chance when it comes to LinkedIn. But similar to how you would with your own blog on your website, you would want to put that link to that article on other channels so that you're driving people back to LinkedIn to see your article subscribe, be notified the next time, different things. So this is something key to remember is share the link to the articles that you're posting on LinkedIn. I would even go a step further and say this wasn't in the article, but I would go even a step further and say put the article on your own blog as well. You could add a little more or a little less on your own website, but utilize that information on your own blog also. Again, repurposing the information. One of my favorite things was, and I love a list. I like listicles where you say top 5, top 3. I like that because I'm like, okay, this is the first one, this is the second one, this is the third one. So one of those is that it encourages you to have sections where you provide a summary because maybe people don't have time to read the long article. It's too long, they don't have time to read it. So to have a section just for that, you know, what they call TLDR, too
Mm,
long, didn't read, but this way it gives you a summary. And that makes me think about how when you search on Google now, AI gives you the summary of whatever article it is that, you know, you're looking for, gives you a summary of the information. So, you know, if this is the thing that I want to continue reading, or maybe you got enough with just the summary. So I thought that was a great tip. Anything else that stood out to you?
One other thing that came to mind just as you were talking is the fact that it helps you shape what your audience is tilting towards. And with the engagement, more of what your audience wants, and you can write more about that and give them
Yeah,
information.
I think we pretty much covered it. If you think about your article on LinkedIn, how you would if this were a blog post on your website, that is going to help you with building the engagement because the tips they gave is very much like what you would do for your own blog. And if you've never had a blog or you're thinking about a blog, then come back to the video, take notes on the different things that we mentioned, and then you'll know how to help build engagement for your article on LinkedIn as well as your, some people call them their blog articles or blog posts, but the things that you write on your blog or your own website. Any final closing words for this particular update regarding LinkedIn and their sharing tips on articles and how to build your engagement?
So again, it comes back to you being the trusted person, the authority. It just says, I know my stuff. Your article just makes it sound like you know your stuff. And this is what your audience is coming back for again and again. And you can refine it, reshape things. I think that's very helpful.
Exactly. Now, if you have any questions in regards to this, or you're not sure where to get started, or you're all in your head, you know you're overthinking and you need someone to help extract those ideas out of your head, comment below or send us a direct message if you're over on Facebook. We would love to help you strategize that and utilize what's in your head to get it on paper, to get it onto social media, onto your website, and everywhere else. Because again, we like repurposing. Now, if you watched all the way to this point and you have not subscribed or you have not followed, if you're on Facebook, you haven't followed yet, as I'm speaking right now, smash the follow button. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe so you'll be notified as soon as our posts hit. Thank you for taking the time out today. Have a wonderful day.